Yeah, so we started HomeFlip.ai, started developing it April of last year. We just launched it literally a couple weeks ago. Built the whole thing from the ground up. We didn't, white label some other CRM. And again, I'm really passionate about probate investing because it's been the consistent source for us over the years. I mean, last time I checked, the death rate's hovering right around 100%. And there's actually twice as many houses in probate as there are foreclosures in the United States, which is a wild statistic that I didn't realize is true, but it absolutely is true. So we started building this because I wanted to build a tool. We've used all kinds of CRMs over the years. We've used Salesforce.com, Pipedrive, all these different ones. And we wanted to build a CRM that was really action based. And I tried a lot of the new ones. And again, nothing against those CRMs. Those are fine. The big ones that we all know about. But what we found is that they're great for presenting the information, but it doesn't really tell you like, well, what do I need to do with this information?
Welcome to the Real Estate Pros Show, where we interview real estate investing professionals from coast to coast, as well as the service providers that serve the real estate investing industry. Our goal is simple: share what's working now to help you improve and scale your business to the next level and meet the pros that can help you get there. Real Estate Pros is powered by Investor Fuel, America's leader in helping real estate investors and professionals build the business you need to live the life you've always dreamed of. Let's start today's show. Property insurance for real estate investors doesn't have to be difficult, but it does need to be there to protect you when you need it. MyInvestorInsurance.com not only provides insurance at 15 to 30% cheaper than traditional agencies, it's built specifically for real estate investors like you. You can set up an account in about 2 minutes, get quotes on properties, turn on and turn off insurance for your fix and flip or rental properties in around 2 minutes without having to talk to anyone directly, all through our portal. There's no better way or faster way to make sure you've got the coverage you need to protect you, and no more lengthy policies either. Once you're set up, you're billed monthly and prorated by the day for however long your policy is active. It's powered by MSI, the third largest independent MGA, with 1.5 million customers and more than $1 billion in cumulative premiums written. Get set up today in about 2 minutes at myinvestorinsurance.com/fuel.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Real Estate Pros Podcast. I am your host, Q Edmonds, and I am super excited to be here today. I have a guest here with me that for me is at like the explosion point of 20 years of experience, also tied with a new tool that he's utilizing. And I just think is really just about to catapult his business and his brand. And so I am really excited for you all to get to know Mr. Gary Daly. Mr. Gary, how you doing today, sir?
I'm doing fantastic, Quentin. How are you doing today?
Yeah, man, I'm doing good. Thank you so much for being here today. You could have honestly been anywhere in the world, but you chose to be here with us, and so I'm excited about that. Listen, I'll be honest with you. I want to dive right in. I would love for you to tell the people what your main focus is these days. If you want to give us a little bit of an origin story, kind of how you got to where you are now. Like, we love the hero's journey. We love tracking the trajectory of where you are and where you're going. And so you want to give us an origin story, we love that. And then also, if you don't mind telling us where you are in the world. People always seem to want to know that, and that always seems to excite them, especially they looking to connect with you. And so hopefully I didn't overload you with too many questions, but like,
No, you're fine.
your main focus, your origin story, and where you are. And so, Mr. Gary, you have it to us, sir.
Yeah, sure, man. So I got started in real estate in around 2005, 2006. I actually went to school for music, and I was a junior high band director for like a minute. And then I read Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki, for those of you who are my age. And it's a critical book. It changed my life. I went out and I bought my first house for $7,000. It was literally the only thing holding it up. The termites were holding hands, and I fixed that thing up myself. I went on and did like 10 more houses after that. And then I started a real estate brokerage that focused around investment properties, started a hard money lending company as well, all based here in Cincinnati. We shut all that down during COVID, went down to just a small team and focused just on our core wholesaling business, which I'm still active in. And then I'm launching this new AI CRM that is, based around probate investing for investors, because that's been the one source for me. I'm Q for all the years, ups and downs. Probate has just been the consistent source day in and day out that we could count on, month in and month out for our wholesaling business.
Yeah. Thank you, man. I love it. Thank you for taking us through the journey. You talk about background in school, went to school for music. a couple moons ago, you couldn't tell me that I would not be in the music business. I used to really love lyrics. I wrote a couple stage plays. You could not tell me that music was not going to be what I was doing. And so I feel you on that, and I love it, man. Like you said, you read Rich Dad Poor Dad. So many people here can relate to that. I laughed and wrote down when you said the only thing holding the houses up with the termites holding hand. That's hilarious. That is hilarious.
Yeah.
Stop living on an island and join the #1 mastermind in America for professional real estate investors. Investor Fuel is a community of hundreds of the nation's top investors working together to build stronger businesses and better lives. In addition to the amazing community of real estate investors acting as a board of advisors for one another, Investor Fuel members have access to 100% funding on purchase and repairs for our members only, a health insurance program, and benefits and discounts that more than pays for the membership of most of our members, meaning it's actually costing you money to not be a member of Investor Fuel. If you're looking to scale your business and build a business that allows you to live the life of your dreams, please visit investorfuel.com today and book a call with our team.
But I love it, man. You started your own company and you've been through some transitions. So, Gary, I have a saying where I say destiny has no wasted moments, right? Meaning, like, whatever we go through in life, these moments kind of make us who we are today, right? And so you've been through some transactions, came out on the other side. You're launching this AI CRM. Absolutely excited about that. But I would love to know, before we talk more about that, what has these moments in your life, these moments that destiny has brought you to, what have they taught you about yourself? Have they taught you, like, yo, you already got an answer. Please
No, go
go.
ahead. Go ahead. You're a great interviewer, Q. You make it easy. You make it easy.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So please, yeah, I mean, because it might have taught you resilience, discipline, humbleness. Like, what has it taught you about yourself, this journey?
Yeah, I mean, I think over because it's been so long, because it's been 20 years, I've gone through several different seasons, several different market cycles. And when I flipped my very first house in 2007, I literally put the yard sign in the front yard, and a car pulled in, and I sold the house. And I thought I was a real estate god. I didn't realize I was caught up in one of the hottest real estate markets in the world. And then a
Yeah,
year
yeah,
later, it all came crashing down. So, I think it's the resilience, it's the ups and the downs, starting off, I was only 27 years old. Now I'm 47, and just, being just not very humble when I was young, and, growing my team and leading my team, and then getting humbled by some different events just with the market and everything else that happened. So it's really about the resiliency and being able to constantly innovate to adapt to different markets. And
yeah.
I never wanted to be the type of investor that said, okay, this is what I'm going to do. This is a strategy I'm going to work. And then, bygone it, the 70% rule, or the 1% rule. I live and die by that rule. I'm not going to change. I've learned that you've got to adapt to different market situations. You've got to adapt to different market conditions, because it's going to change. A deal that was a deal a year ago may not be a deal anymore, or vice versa. So it's about having that consistency. And then also important for me too is always just leading, like, ethically and honestly, particularly as a wholesaler. A lot of times wholesalers can get bad names. Really big about, being upfront about what we're charging for the houses. We rely on repeat business. 90% of my business is repeat business. So it's all long-term investors. Again, it's making those short-term sacrifices for a long-term gain, instead of making a short-term decision just to try to get, like, a quick win that in the end is probably just going to end up biting you in the butt if it's not the right thing.
Gary, I literally just had to say that to myself probably last week. You have to sacrifice for the moment for what you want the most. I kind of reworded what you said, but the exact same thing is what I had to tell myself. Like, you got to remind yourself, what do you want for the moment? And so I love it. And you even talked about being able to pivot. 20 years. So you're speaking from experience. There are some people that's right in the middle of their first pivot. And to them, it feels a little weighty because they never had to pivot before. And so I love that you talked about pivoting through your life. And I'm not sure if you're at another full pivot or it's just a transition, but tell me a little bit more about why AI CRM, like, why this thing now? Matter of fact, you told me whole flip AI. Why now? Why is this coming up now for you?
Yeah, so we started HomeFlip.ai, started developing it April of last year. We just launched it literally a couple weeks ago. Built the whole thing from the ground up. We didn't, white label some other CRM. And again, I'm really passionate about probate investing because it's been the consistent source for us over the years. I mean, last time I checked, the death rate's hovering right around 100%. And there's actually twice as many houses in probate as there are foreclosures in the United States, which is a wild statistic that I didn't realize is true, but it absolutely is true.
Yeah.
So we started building this because I wanted to build a tool. We've used all kinds of CRMs over the years. We've used Salesforce.com,
Yep.
Pipedrive, all these different ones.
Yep.
And we wanted to build a CRM that was really action based. And I
Oh,
tried a lot of the new ones. And again, nothing against those CRMs. Those are fine. The big ones that we all know about. But what we
yeah.
found is that they're great for presenting the information, but it doesn't really tell you like, well, what do I need to do with this information?
If you're looking for consistent, high-quality leads, look no further than Investor Machine. Investor Machine isn't just another agency, it's the most sophisticated, data-driven lead generation company on the planet for real estate investors, and serves the role of being not just a lead generator for your business, but a marketing partner that is helping you achieve your goals along the way. Go to investormachine.com to learn more and schedule a call with our team today.
What do I need to do with this? So we basically took what we've done for the last 20 years and what we still do today and built it into our own CRM from the ground up. So it does the research on the houses, presents the right action steps for the investor to take. And no, it's not, a push button, send an offer, follow it. It's not that because again, maybe I'm old school, but if I'm going to buy a house, I'm not buying a house from a robot. I'm buying a house from an individual, right? So they don't, if you've ever sold a house and you put it on the market, you'll get these automated offers. It's like, come on, man, who do you think I'm in? I'm a person. You're a person. Let's have a conversation. Because at the end of the day, Q, it doesn't matter. Like, if you can have the fanciest software, you can have the best letters in the world. But if you can't get on the phone with the person who's actually going to decide, hey, am I going to sell my house or not? Then none of that stuff matters. None of that matters. High equity, non-owner occupant properties, none of that matters at all. If you can't connect with the seller on a human level, on a personal level, because for them, for us, buying and selling houses, it's like a weekly thing. But for a lot of sellers, they may sell one house or two houses in their entire life. It's probably the biggest financial decision that they're going to make in their life, or one of them. And it's probably the biggest thing that's going on in their life right then. We got, 10, 20 houses going at a time. But for them, this is a really big deal. And the sellers need to feel like, man, this is as important to us as it is to you. And we're basically like your partner in this. And to me, that's really what I worry gets lost with a lot of the technology and even the AI stuff. I say that as a guy that's developed an AI app, but again, it allows the human element to take the right actions at the right times, and also provides all the coaching and everything already included, baked into it, so that even if you're a new investor, they know, okay, this is what I need to say, this is who I need to call. And again, we decided to base everything around probate. It'll work with a bunch of different sources, but just the probate, it just provides for investors of any experience level. It's just the most consistent source. But the challenge is getting the data, getting the information, and then knowing what to do with that information once you have it.
Man, so eloquently said, man, especially about the human connection point. Like, we cannot lose this human connection. So I did a study on communication. Communication has a 55-38-7 rule.
What's that?
55% of communication is actually your body language, right? 38% is your tone, and then 7% is actually what you actually said. And so right? And so I love, because we know when we talk about handshake deals, right? And like in that mindset, handshake deal means that you're actually in person, and that means you're actually reading body language, you're reading tone, and then you're listening to the words that said. So I love how you talk about not losing a human element. And I know a lot of stuff we do over line. We're doing this online over the web, but I think it's so important to the communication skills for us to try to do as much as that interpersonal communication as possible, because it's so heavy to be weighted on transmitting what you're actually what you mean. And like you talked about leading with authenticity, integrity, you feel all of that when you actually have that human interaction. And we know people, they may not remember what you said, but they remember how you made them feel. And so as
Yes.
much as
Yeah.
we can, right, we need to have that human interaction, man. And so I think you said it so eloquently, man. Let me ask you, what is the next real goal for HomeFlip.ai?
So the next goal is keeping up with demand and scaling this out across the country. because we've got to arrange, licensing agreements with a lot of these counties and these jurisdictions to get this data. So it's just, we've got a backlog of people that are interested in opening this up in their market. So it's really just keeping up with that demand and scaling across the United States into the different areas that we want to be in. I mean, there's 3,000 counties in the whole country. That's a lot of counties. So we want to be in as many of those areas as we possibly can to help investors take advantage of, honestly, what's with the baby boomers and what's going on right now. I think that probate, again, I feel like I'm beating a dead horse here, but I'm just so passionate about it because it genuinely is a unique opportunity that we're positioned right now. They call it the silver tsunami, which I'd never heard that
Ooh,
before.
I've
That's
never
what
heard that
it is.
either.
There's this huge shift of wealth where all these baby boomers are going to be selling their properties and, downsizing, moving, and then of course passing away.
If you're a new or newer real estate investor looking to launch or grow your real estate investing business, please check out Investor Fuel Club. It's a coaching community, but unlike anything you've ever seen before. And you can actually partner with members of our mastermind from coast to coast on deals right in your market. There's no better opportunity to build a consistent business than to literally partner with pros to help you avoid costly mistakes, avoid the need for capital to do deals, and help you eliminate your fears as you're starting your business. Learn more about Investor Fuel Club at investorfuel.com/club.
Wow. Wow. Silver Tsunami. I've never heard that before. So I thank you. I'm had to do more research on that too, because it makes sense when you say it and explain it, but I never heard of it. So that's amazing, man. So I want to talk about the word relationships a little bit because, for you, school music background, I think a junior band instructor, right? So you got dealing with kids and younger adults, that kind of help you optimize your human kind of interaction in itself. And just being a teacher, having to give information, and then just 20 years of experience. It just sounds like to me that you are a relationship guy. And so some of the things that you said just highlights that word. And so, Gary, I would love to know, what is your perspective on building relationships in business? Are they important? Have they served you well? How do you go about doing it? I would just love to hear your perspective on relationship building.
Yeah, particularly with business, and I'll talk from a business owner to customer standpoint. And I think it's really about aligning yourself with your customers' interests. Because at the end of the day, like if they go out of business, you're going to go out of business, right? It's like that. You see those signs on the restaurants, the funny signs that say, come in and eat or we'll both starve, right?
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like, and it's particularly with you're dealing with real estate. So, and with wholesaling in particular, if you're sourcing your own deals, whether you're flipping or wholesaling or whatever it is, if you're getting your own deals, you have to align yourself with the seller's interests. And you have to understand, like, what are their challenges? What's preventing them from selling their property? And then how can you be a resource to them? So that's on the seller side. On the buyer side, so whether you're flipping a house or you're renting a house to a tenant or you're wholesaling a house to another investor, what are their goals? What are their challenges? And how can you fit what you're doing into what they're doing, so you can actually deliver value? So it may mean you might not make as much as you want to make on one deal, but that person's going to come back again and again and again because okay, this guy's he's got a goal of doing 10 houses this year. I want to be part of 2 of those,
yeah.
and I know what his numbers are. I'm not going to force them into a deal that they want to be in. So it's like we all win together and we all thrive together. And I think that as long as people can stay aligned like that from both the sellers and their buyers, then I really think you can't go wrong with that as long as you put that as the priority.
So well said. And I love how you talked about just adding value. I think if we lead some time adding value, not even sometimes, just adding value to other people, it already just sows a seed of just genuine, real connection. And so I absolutely love that, man. I love that approach. I love that mindset. Thank you for speaking on that. So, is there a topic that I have not brought up that you want to talk about? And is there any final words of education, motivation you want to leave?
I think the final piece that I'd say is that this is even, this is kind of counterintuitive for me to say as a wholesaler. But I just think that there's so many opportunities for investors if they can just learn how to source their own properties. Again, and the investors that I sell to, they don't want to source their own properties. They're happy to buy houses from me, which is fine. But I talk to investors all across the country, and it's like everything that they learn, they take different classes and stuff. And the getting the house part seems to always get skipped over. Like it's just a given, but it's like, that's where you make your money. And if you can get properties particularly off market, but if you can get them directly from sellers and source them yourself, it will completely change your business. I mean, it's really the one thing that you can do. You can rely on appreciating markets and things like that, but getting that property directly from the seller is gonna absolutely transform your business. So the some practical advice for that is I think that investors need to have three sources that they're working. And again, no offense to these big CRMs, that's not a source, that's a tool, right? So it's going to help you organize the data and research the properties, and those are fine. But you need to consider having like, have your searches set up for your MLS, whether you're using the, Zillow or Redfin or whatever. That's a good source. I think probate's another good source. And then you need to find one other source. Maybe that is wholesalers, maybe that's agents, maybe that's letters or drive for dollars. But you have those three sources that you're working, and then consistently working those sources, not for a week, not for 2 weeks, but 90 days, 6 months, and you're sticking with that consistently. Because what you'll find is, particularly, let's say you do a direct mail campaign, okay, Quentin. I thought I do a direct mail campaign and people are going to call me back, and then I'm going to get a house, and then I'm going to buy a house. That will happen, but over time, people will respond to your letters, even if it's the same mailer. So I think the misconception that people have is that like they talk about motivated sellers, which is fine, but they have this misconception of like, I'm going to find out about this house and I'm going to buy this house.
Yeah.
And this isn't how it works. If I only relied on the people that were ready to go right now, which is the most competitive people, because they're probably talking to a lot of other people, then I wouldn't be out of business. So we do about 50 deals a year here in Cincinnati for our wholesale business. And I'd say a third of those are people that have had our letters or that we've following up with for 6 months or 12 months. Some of them are ones that are recent, like ready to go. And then you got a lot that are in the middle. So if you take out and you're only working one segment of that, then you're not going to be able to generate enough revenue for you, generate enough leads for your houses. And then the final piece of that, how that actually boils down to like a practical thing, is this. This is kind of the formula. This is like our North Star metric, if you will.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
We say, look, the number of houses that you want to do a month is the number of houses you need to be seeing a week. So if my goal is to buy 4 houses a month, which is where I try to stick, 4 to 6 houses a month, I need to make sure that I'm seeing at least 4 houses a week that I have at least greater than a 50% chance of getting, right? So that means I'm looking at 4 houses this week. I put my offers in. The houses that we bought this week, which we bought 3, those were offers that we put in last week, right? And they were people that we've been following up with for months and months and months and months. Nobody that we bought houses from this week were ready to go right then. They were all people that we've nurtured along over months and months from probate and variety of other sources. So that's just some practical stuff, just from a guy that's that's been around the corner a time or two, and that is still consistently in the game. I've got 2 houses to look at this afternoon, so I'm actively in the game. I'm not just some like talking head, real estate guru.
Yeah. Man, I love it. I love it, man. Again, thank you, man, so much. Listen, if someone wanted to reach out to you, connect with you, collaborate with you, learn more about what you're doing, Gary, how can they get in contact with you, man?
The easiest way, I've got a free school community. All my coaching, I've got a bunch of courses. They're completely free. It's all free. So if they want to get access to the CRM, it's $95 a month. I mean, it's super, super inexpensive. But school.com/property magnet is my free school community. You can get on there. I do live calls every week. I do one every Friday morning. I've got like, I used to do monthly workshops, live workshops before COVID for my customers here in Cincinnati. I've got like 30 hours of those live workshops on my YouTube channel. I'm always uploading new videos there. So I'm pretty easy to find. And then of course, if somebody is interested in the probate stuff, they can go to HomeFlip.ai and they can learn all about it, click claim their county, and then they connect with me that way. So I'm easy to find.
Man, Gary, so let me say 3 things to you, sir. So first, let me thank you for your time, right? You could have been anywhere in the world. I said that before, but you chose to be here. And I think you both you and I know time is precious. It's our most precious commodity. So thank you for your time. Secondly, man, thank you for your story. Thank you for leading with what I call the gift of your transparency, the gift of your vulnerability, leading with integrity. I greatly appreciate it. I put a premium on stories. People, when we share our stories, it plants seeds in other people that we don't know when it's going to grow, when it's going to blossom, but it just plants a seed sometimes for people. And literally, it can change the trajectory of their life. And I'm not trying to put that much weight on us, but I've seen it happen so many times and time again. So thank you for your story. And lastly, man, thank you for your mindset, for your perspective, and bringing that mindset to this platform. I greatly appreciate you, sir.
Hey, I appreciate it. You make this easy. Like you're a great interviewer. I really appreciate this. Has been a lot of fun. I really, really appreciate this.
I appreciate that, sir. I really, really do. And so listen, y'all heard Mr. Gary. Y'all got the nuggets, you got the value. Check the show notes, get in contact with him. We got a whole school to connect you to get you where you need to go. So please connect with him and definitely make sure you are subscribed here because I promise we're going to continue to bring up amazing people just like Mr. Gary. So, sir, thank you again. And everyone else, go have a fantastic day.
Thanks for joining us for today's Real Estate Pros Show. You can learn more about the amazing benefits of the Investor Fuel Mastermind community, including surrounding yourself with hundreds of other rock stars, 100% financing for your deals, and members-only discounts from vendors you're likely already using that, as a member of Investor Fuel, will save you more than the cost of your membership. Visit investorfuel.com to learn more. If you're interested in joining us as a guest of this show, please visit investorfuel.com/pros to apply. You can also check the show notes for access to free resources, how to get access to world-class lead generation, and much more. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another episode. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next show.